Okay, hello. I am going to create a screencast for you in which you will see me read this report from the perspective of a parent. It was raised as an issue by the Parent-Teacher Committee that reading reports is quite a challenging thing to do, and so I suggested that we create a fictitious student and I would read the report as if I was their parent. So we've created a report here for Charlie Brown, who is in PY3, and I'm just going to work my way through the content of the report so that people can get an idea of how I would be reading it if I were a parent. Okay. So this is the opening page, and we have a message from Miss Benter wishing us to have a wonderful summer holiday, which I'm sure we will all do. And then as we work our way down, we see the two homeroom teachers for PY3. Here is the learner profile section, and we can see the model here of the structure of the PYP. And then we get some grades. Now here we can see the grades for the learner profile. In this case, all of the elements are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, not all of them. Only some of them. And you can see on this side here, we've got a G, a G, a G, a G, and then an NS. Okay, now if we look down here at the bottom, we've got the achievements. This isn't quite correct, and we're trying to get this changed before we issue the reports, although it may not be possible. But the ones that we're going to use this time are slightly different from the ones that we used in December, and that is our aim to maintain this new set from now on. But to try and make it easier for everybody, we will keep O for outstanding. But to let people understand how outstanding that is, I've worked out that I've done over 1,000 of these achievement grades, and I've given 2 outstanding levels. Okay, very good. I've used several more of these. G now doesn't stand for good, but stands for grade level. And that's what you should be expecting to see, are lots of these Gs. The next one down that you might see is this NS one, which needs strengthening. This is an area which the student in concern, so Charlie here, is not being much of a risk taker, not what we'd expect for a student of his age, for his grade level. Okay, so as we work our way down the report, we go to the transdisciplinary skills. Okay, and we have social skills, and you can see that Charlie's not very good at cooperating. Certainly you would expect him to be more cooperative for a child of his age, but he's amazing at group decision making, which sounds like it contradicts each other. We've got some issues over here where we can see that he's at grade level, and accepting responsibility is an area which he could probably work on. As we keep going down, we can see the other skill areas and the attitudes. You can see that Charlie is very enthusiastic, but highly dependent. So here it says independence, he needs support. In this case, this would probably mean that he has to be assisted by an assistant or a teacher to complete a task. Okay, as we get to the summary of achievement section, in this case, we've got a couple of units of inquiry. I can see that we were looking at the communication unit, and we've got an achievement grade of G, which is what I would like to see. Either G or VG would be perfect. And so what I can see here is some comments. You might see a generic comment at the top, and then we can see Charlie showed his creativity whilst planning role plays during this unit. This is all reflective of his individual skill levels and what he attained during here. We can see the same for another one underneath, and there's one there for landforms as well. As we go down, we'll come to the language section. Okay, so here I can see the strands. So there's the oral language, the visual language, the written language, reading and written language, writing. And I can see Charlie's got lots of NS's and a couple of G's. Okay, so the NS's means that he probably needs to work on it more in class and probably a little bit at home as well. Underneath we'll have a generic statement here again. This part here would be a generic statement, but this bit underneath is reflective of his individuality. Okay, as I keep working down, you'll get the same for Norwegian. He's very good at Norwegian, Charlie, and outstanding. If you're in Norwegian A, these sections here will be in Norwegian. But I believe Norwegian B, those sections will be in English. Okay. Here we have the mathematics section. Now generally, can you see here's an I? It's not usual to see an I, but sometimes you might have a student who, whilst is working below grade level has made significant progress, and so there may be 1 or 2 cases of an I appearing, but this is quite a rare occurrence. Generally, you would see NS needs strengthening for this. Okay, the format for these reports is the same. Okay, you can see here that there are a number of steps that this class have put in. So he needs to master his number facts for 20 and then to 30 and find the cost of 2 items and make change from 20 kroner or more. This is a couple of progress issues that he can work on, and you should keep an eye out for these as you go through. So you might see the phrase "to make progress I would like to see," your next steps is another phrase that a teacher might use. Alright, okay, let's keep moving down. Okay, physical education, music. This comment here is very important. This homeroom advisor comment is where the homeroom advisors put their the really reflective elements of the report in. So whilst the other parts of the report are important, this bit for me is probably the most important part. Okay, so reports generally open with a positive statement. So we've enjoyed working with Charlie this year, and it's been rewarding to see his enthusiasm and engagement during our many investigations. Okay, Charlie is inquisitive and shown that he can ask thoughtful and relevant questions. This is important. Asking questions is a hugely important area, so I'm very pleased that Charlie's doing well with that. Although he loves reading and quickly picks up a book during a free opportunity, Charlie needs support whilst reading for information during the finding out phase of our inquiry. This, for me, is not something that's unusual for a student of Charlie's age, and so I'm not particularly concerned about it. Actually, researching effectively and getting good information out of a book is quite a challenging thing for him, so that's not a surprise. During other phases of the inquiry, Charlie is better able to concentrate in a small group, whereas he finds this more difficult during teacher modelling. So he's saying here that Charlie learns well in small groups, but if there's a teacher in front, he finds it difficult. Though there has been an improvement in this area, Charlie can continue to work on acting sensibly when others are speaking. So what I'm being told here by the teacher is that Charlie is not paying attention when the teacher's talking, and this is something that I might like to talk to Charlie about. He might be playing around, it sounds like something like that. He responds well to wearing headphones during independent tasks. So this is a case where Charlie has been asked to wear sound dampeners on his ears so that it reduces the auditory input and allows him to focus. So I'm pleased to see that. It means that the teachers have come up with some strategies that allow Charlie to work effectively in class. Okay, and I can see that they're planning to use these more next year, which is excellent. Charlie is a caring student. Personally, this is very important for me. And has shown he can positively encourage others. That's really good. When conflicts with classmates arise, Charlie is reminded to use the assertive voice and steps he learned earlier this year for communicating effectively. If I think about it, the teacher's now referring to a unit of inquiry on communication where issues were being resolved effectively through effective communication. So that's what they're talking about there. Okay, so this is, I hope you find this useful. If you have any questions about the report and some of the comments, please feel free to contact the teachers directly and they will get back to you. My advice is if you have any questions, try and do it before the summer holiday, because sometimes these issues need to be dealt with before the holiday. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I look forward to you returning when term resumes.